Hey, I'd love to do that. Of course, we only have a few minutes per video on here, so I will try to do a make a long story short version, if you will. So if you have any questions at the end about anything I say, let me know, and I will try to make individual videos upon each question so I can give you a little bit more in-depth and more info if you like. So pretty much, their ending is different than the normal Christian belief in a few areas. The first and foremost is on after the whole thing of Book of Revelation happens, and then you have the Great White Throne Judgment where Jesus Christ sits there and judges everybody, both good and bad, for all the good and bad deeds and everything like that, where everyone has to give an account of what they said, thought, or did. For some reason, it's not just Jesus. It's a council. Now, I could be wrong, so don't quote me on this, but I believe it's the same council that got together, minus Satan, that created the earth and decided how the earth would begin and go about its way of mankind and all that kind of stuff. But I could be wrong. But there is a council. Jesus Christ is the center of this council. He sits in the center. And to his right hand, if you will, which, if you know anything about theology, the right hand is very significant. Who sits at the right hand is Joseph Smith. And Joseph Smith also gets to weigh in on the judgment of every human being on earth. And, of course, all the angels and demons and so on and so on. Now, a different part also is what their 144,000. Now, normal Christianity, sorry about that. I don't know what happened to my iPad there. The camera just started switching back and forth. But as I was saying, with normal Christianity, the correct Christianity, the 144,000 are of the tribes of Israel that will speak and will be protected by God the Father to teach the gospel of Jesus Christ during the time and the rise of the Antichrist. They will be supernaturally protected by the power of God so that they can go out and testify of the goodness of Jesus Christ and salvation through him. Now, the difference with Mormonism is that they teach that the 144,000 have a different role. They are a selected, the elect, that God has chosen from before the beginning of time for earth. 144,000 of his spirit babies that will be able to have access to heaven. No one else will be able to go to heaven except for the 144,000. Now, they will help guide and lead everyone to having a better paradise here on earth, but everyone else lives on earth. The new heaven and the new earth, all those who are not part of the 144,000 will be living on the new earth. Now, the crazy thing is that if you wanted to know how do you become one of the 144,000, you don't. There's nothing that you can do, nothing that can be said. God just randomly chose 144,000 of his spirit babies that will one day be in heaven with him. Now, the thing about the 144,000 is not only do they get to be in heaven and look down upon earth and get to run and judge in earth and rule it and stuff like that, they also have like a almost godlike, if not God itself, like powers to do so. Now, they also, depending on if you're a Reformed Mormon or the classical Mormon, for lack of a better term, there falls into the category of new planets. They pretty much each of them get their own planet. Now, of course, remember, this depends on if you're Reformed or classical, this part. But they get a planet, they get to create it the way that they want, just like the original council did. There is a teaching and belief that there's 144,000 planets that can actually hold life, and that they are for the 144,000 when that time comes. So they'll get to be the god, if you will, of their own planet. Pretty much anything like any video game like Zelda or something like that, where they have your own races and stuff like that. That's pretty much what they get to do. They get to create their own planet, their own creatures, their own beings, their own whatever. They get to decide whether or not they all get to go to heaven, if they get to have to just live on Earth, on their planet, things of that nature. Again, remember that one part though is either Reformed or Classical, depending on which one you are, whether or not you believe that part. But in the end, to make it all in a nutshell, Joseph Smith, for some reason, gets lifted up to the same level of Jesus when he gets to sit down in the great white throne judgment and gets to rule all of mankind and cast his judgment on them, whether he shows mercy or damnation on them. His say-so is just as much as Jesus's. Jesus also has to reference and correlationally work with Joseph Smith for any judgment to be done, whether it be reward or punishment. So Joseph Smith has really lifted himself up into that power of level of being equal to God. And then 144,000, they believe that God secretly revealed to Joseph Smith that all the churches and all of church history had it wrong, and that the 144,000 is just 144,000 since the day of Adam until the last baby ever born. God randomly picked them out. They get to be like gods. They get to live in heaven with God. They're the only ones that will live in heaven with God. All the rest of us, if we're Mormon, we get to live on the new earth, and that is where we will just simply stay. And then they also get their own planets, again, depending on whether you're Reformed or Classical Mormon. I hope that answered your question. If for any reason you have any more questions or need more details, let me know, and I'll, when I get a free moment, I will definitely make you another video. Thanks, and I hope you follow the account.